Hi everybody. Today we're gonna go through week two, which is dealing with um, Maya's time editor. This is pretty much the story mode in Motion Builder. So I'm gonna show you how to do it, how to mix keyframing animation with some Mixamo clips. But before we do this, I want to just go over what happened last week. I know I encountered a few issues with rotation. I was doing this flip, and my character was flipping the other way. So I looked up a little bit what's going on, and this is what we call in Maya or in Motion Builder Gimbal Lock. So if you're curious to read about it, go on YouTube, search for Maya or Gimbal Lock Maya. You don't need to put HIK. HIK is the control rig that we're using, but it could happen with any rig, any custom rig or anything rotation wise. So it's the basics of it is there's rotation values that get messed up and it interpolates the wrong way. So if you're curious to read up about it, I'm not going to go through it today, but the quickest way possible to fix these issues when you're doing a lot of rotations on your control rig and it's flipping the other side is try to play with the rotations that you set. Example. As an example, I'll show you exactly what I mean. So right now I'm trying to do this. I want him to flip this way, right? So if I go and rotate it this way and I set a key, he's flipping the other side, right? So if this happens to you and you don't want to go through all the gimbal lock fixes, the quickest way is to play around with the rotation. So just try to make it less. Try to make the rotation that you set a little bit less extreme. Okay. So I'm gonna make him rotate less on this pose. So what happens is, see? So maybe think about the rotation as maybe 90 degrees instead of going like, okay, so you see this angle here, you see the gray area? This is about 90 degrees, okay? If you try to go over and set a key, he does the little weird rotation, okay? Well, he rotates the other side. But if you go 90 degrees or close to it and you set a key, see, the rotation is fine. So think about it this way, okay? So I'll do another example. And I go 5 frames later and I rotate another 90 degrees and he's still fine. See? So if you don't want to go through all the video, and this is the quickest way to fix rotation issues, okay? So I'm gonna try to finish this animation super quick. I'm gonna take my last pose and I want him to land obviously on the ground. So I'll copy this pose, go to the last frame, paste, and I'm gonna move him full body, release all pinning, so this way I can move this pose and put him on the ground. Okay, so what do we have now? So see, now we have he's flipping and landing. Okay. Timing is probably not that great. Let's see if I add a few frames here just to see the landing. It's okay for now. Let's work with this because I want to get on to time editor. But if you're keyframing something, try to spend a bit more time on the animation. Okay, so yeah, I'll just save this. I'll keep saving because this is week 2. We're week 3. Okay. So we have this animation, and I want to save it out and mix it with maybe a couple of Mixamo animation. The reason I'm showing you this is, let's say you don't find for your film at the end of the class, let's say you don't find a certain Mixamo animation, you want to mix it with a keyframe version. This is why I'm showing you this. So you keyframe something and then you grab whatever you need from Mixamo and mix it in Time Editor. Okay, so we'll need to save out this animation. It's basically the same method as we exported last week to Unreal. So you select the root, you go select hierarchy, and then you go File, Export Selection, and then you go in your folder that you're working on, Maya Assets, Anims, and we wanna save it out as FBX as well. So let's name this Ninja Flip, let's say. Make sure in the animation you might not have bake on, so just make sure in the options here you have animation on and you have bake, because if you don't have bake, it will not bake the keyframes on the joints. Remember, when we animate with the control rig, this one, but underneath there's no keys on the joints, so you need to bake the animation to export it properly. Okay, so we'll name this Ninja Flip Clip. You'll find out in a bit why I put clip, just to distinguish. Let's say you have another FBX called Ninja Flip. If you put clip, you'll understand that this is going to the time editor. So it's like the difference between maybe an animation made on the control rig and an animation made baked on the joints. Okay. Okay, that's weird. This plugin has changed some animation curve. Okay. It's okay. Let's disregard it for now. Let's see if it. Actually, we can test it super quick. So I'm gonna open a scene with just the character T-pose and test out this FBX file, just to see if those errors mean something. Okay. So time editor, you select one joint. You go in time editor, you're gonna get a bunch of icons here because there's no animation track yet set, so you're gonna a bunch of options here. So you wanna choose the middle one. Import content is you're importing the FBX. We'll do that on the next one. So just use these. Import selected character. So what it will do, it will create a track with all the joints. This is an animation track in the time editor, and it will create a clip for you with the time, with whatever timeline you have already set here. So see this clip. This is a clip. So you can shorten it, you can scale it up and down. So this is just the T-pose because it just takes whatever timeline, whatever keys you have here and just puts it on the, so we can delete it, we don't need it. So let's drag and drop the animation that we just saved. So I'm gonna go on desktop, Dawson, F21, Maya assets, Maya anims. And this is the FBX we just exported, right? So I'm just gonna drag and drop. Oh, I'll load up the shortcuts. Where did I put it? Let's see, Dawson apps. Because I might use some keyboard shortcuts so you guys can follow along. If you hold down Alt, and it's basically the same controls in the viewport. If you hold down Alt, you can pan, you can zoom in, same thing. Okay. Let me just put it in the quick access so I don't have, just in case it crashes. Okay, Ninja Flip. So I'm gonna drag and drop this here. And technically, we should see our animation. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So we can move it inside the timeline. So what do we got? This is the animation we saved. Good. There's a bunch of dead frames because when we saved it, we saved it with like 20 frames that don't have any animation, that's why. But it's easily fixed, you can just trim it like this. Okay. Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna save this before I save over the character with the T-pose, because right now we just opened the ninja character in T-pose. I'm gonna save it in anims. So let's call it week 3. My name. Week 3, my name. It's fine. Ninja. Just to remember what you have to upload, because you have to put your name in the file that you upload. Okay. So now we have this clip, but we wanna, let's say, I want him to run before, and then maybe land. So let's say I want him to run, do the flip, land, roll, and like continue running maybe. Okay. So I'm gonna go on Mixamo and try to find those moves or animations. Okay. Log in. Okay, so we still have our character. Please make sure when you're downloading from Mixamo, please use the same character you've chosen before. Otherwise, because some of these characters have a different scale, so when you import it in Maya, let's say you choose this girl and she's, sorry, let's say you choose this character and you download the animations on this guy, he might be a different scale than the ninja, so you might end up with scale issues on the skeleton. So please always use the same the same character you chose. Okay, so keep going with the ninja. If you have another character, just keep going with the same one. Okay, so I'm gonna, let's say, use ninja run. Let's see what we find. Ninja run. Oh, that's cool. Okay, we'll download this. FBX 30 frames without skin. You don't need the skin, you only need the skeleton. And maybe land roll. Let's try. See if we can. Maybe without ninja. There's probably a bunch. Roll kicking. No. Let's try roll. Run to rolling. A little clumsy. Let's maybe choose something better. Falling to roll. This could be interesting because he is falling from a small platform. This could work. Yeah, let's try that. FBX, same thing, save your setting from last time. Okay, and it's probably gonna be in my downloads. So fall to roll, run. I'll copy these to my Mixamo folder. Is there another one? No, so I didn't. So, oh, there's a download folder. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, you can put it here if you want. Mixamo animations. Mix. Just put them here. This way, you keep it organized a little bit, right? Like we said. So I'm gonna build just a small cube just for reference. Sometimes it's hard to. You need like a small set channel box. I think I put. Yeah, I believe it was a 1 meter height. And what I'll do, I'll put a plane as well for the floor. So we'll scale this one to maybe 500. Okay, it's upside down. Just rotate it. -90. Maybe 90. I want the gray. So we want black and black, black on black. Okay, maybe a little bit bigger. Let's go with. Okay. So now we can put the cube flat. And you should, if you want him to jump off here, it's fine. But if you want to do it somewhere else, you can just, I'll show you in a bit how to move the clips inside the timeline. So I need him to run, right? So I need him to just run for a little bit. So I'll scale the cube. By the way, if I haven't showed you, you can freeze like those cubes in plane. So if you select both, whoops, shift, select, and you go in the display and you click on this little button, create a new layer and assign selected objects. If you just create it, should be this, okay, and you click on, I believe R. Yeah, okay, so R, V is visibility, P is, I forgot, permanent or something. And this one, I forgot. Anyways, VPR is what you want. It's, so now you don't select it by mistake. If you wanna see what they actually stand for, understand it. My display layers. So anything with Autodesk, knowledge autodesk.com, it's related to the software, and you can easily find out what it means. So V is visibility, P is playback. Oh, okay, turns off the playback of these objects when you press play. T means objects and layers and templated. R means that the objects and layer is referenced. They cannot be selected. So just keep in mind, VPR is what you need. Okay, so now we can bring in the run. Okay, so when you're importing something from Mixamo incoming files have a different namespace. Remember the namespace that we talked about last time? So we renamed our character to Ninja. We gave him a Ninja namespace, but the stuff coming in from Mixamo is still Mixamo rig. Okay, so this is the incoming, the file we just downloaded, and this is the namespace that's in our scene. Okay, so it just tells if you have more than one character, you'll probably get a list here, right? You're gonna get like Ninja or Monster or whatever. So this is a way to link the skeleton incoming or the animation, Mixamo animation income, to whatever namespace that you have. So we only have one. We're gonna just Ninja and apply and close. So technically, where did it go? Okay, let's try it again. Okay, maybe we need to. Okay, it's not working. Maybe we need to drop it on the track. Has been created as an emission resource. Now is it? Oh, okay. Hold on. I think I might be. Okay, so I apologize, I forgot this small step. So if your animations are not working from Mixamo, it is because your source is still referring to the control rig. So what happens, the reason it worked with the flip is when we saved it, we saved information on the skeleton and the control rig. So that's the reason why it works with this source, with the input of the character from the control rig. Mixamo animations only have skeleton data. They don't have control rig keys or animation data. So what we need to do before we use them, we need to switch the source to skeleton. None is skeleton. Okay? So you need to switch the source from the control rig to the skeleton. So now we have okay, we're probably gonna have to re-add the flip. Let's see what's going on here. So Maya, anims, ninja flip, clip. Yeah. So just switch the source to none before you add any clips. But if you encounter this problem, that's the way to fix it. If you already imported one, just delete it and re-import it again. Because when we imported it was on control rate and we switched it after, so now it's like confused a little bit. So that's probably the only way to fix it. Quick way to fix it. Sorry, I forgot this step. So many steps. Okay, so now we have this run and we have this flip. Sorry, I want them to the reversed. Okay, so first thing, you could just take this and just drag it over here. Let's say if you want him to finish in running, but we want him to start in the running and then flip. So first thing we want to do, I want to show you is if you select the clip, you have a bunch of icons here. Okay, so you have create clip from selection. Don't worry too much about these. Probably create pose, group. Yeah, don't worry too much. We're probably not going to use these that much. So in here, these 4 buttons. So these are 4 different modes. You can control the clip that you have selected. So the first one is trim. Trimming is what it stands for. It's if you want to delete a few frames, for example. I want to delete those, those dead frames that we exported. So I select trimming and I just move my clip up to here. So now my clip just end here. If I want to remove more, let's say, for example, I want to just maybe cut it on this frame. See, it cuts. The clip stops at that frame, whatever I set it to. Okay, so that's trimming. The second option is scale. So scale is you're affecting the duration of the clip. So let's say I want this run to be faster. Okay, so what do? I remove frames by scaling it down. Okay, so now, oops, see, now he's running faster. If I want him slower, I scale it the other side. So now he's gonna run in slow-mo. See? So this is scaling, okay? This one, loop mode. So what does this do? Let's say you have this run and you want to loop it over and over. Okay, so what do? You just select the button, select the clip, and just drag the extremities. So now what you get is he loops. Actually, it's a really nice function. Is it keeps the last pose of this clip and loops it over with the same displacement. See? It's really cool. So you can loop it as many times as you want. We're probably going to do that because this section is long, so we'll probably need like a 1.5 or something like that. And the last one, I believe you can hold I never tried it, but you can hold the last pose. See? Kind of the reverse of what we did here. We removed the end frames. This is sometimes useful for if you're blending 2 clips together. You want to hold the last pose, but probably you won't use it a lot. This one, you're probably going to use these 3 most of the time. Okay, what else? Split. You can actually split the clip. Let's say you want to scale half of, let's say, let's say that the landing part is too fast for you, for your character, you can just take the clip, split it, right? And then you can scale this one, see? So what happens now? Ooh, he goes down slower, see? So that's the advantage of splitting. You can split a clip and do whatever you need to do. Okay, it's not. Okay, maybe there's some issues with it. Okay, because it's not letting me undo. It's fine. We can keep going. This one is trimming, same thing as this one, so you can trim. Toggle ripple is you can automatically delete the gaps, so don't worry too much about it. And the last one I want to show you is locators. So what is a locator? Locator is you need the locator to move this clip in space, in world space, because otherwise you're not going to be able to move this clip up here. Okay, so we need the locator. We select the clip, we go create locator. So we'll take the first frame, whatever frame you're on of the clip, and give you like a, it's like a group, I guess, of the skeleton, and this will enable you to move it in space. Okay. So now he's at this new position. Okay. So let's say you select another clip. You can select multiple clips together. So let's say you select another clip and you want to go back and adjust the locator. So how do you do this? There's no button to select the locator, but what you can do is you can right click, relocate, and select locator. Okay, so we'll select the locator you just created a couple seconds ago. So now you can move it closer or rotate it. You can do whatever you want with it, okay, just like before. So I want to be able to move or actually scale this, actually loop it, sorry. I don't want to scale it, because if I scale it, he's going to go slower. Okay, so I want to be able to loop it just to close that gap, right? Because we have a gap now for the animation to reach the... so now, see, it's almost getting there. I loop it maybe a little bit more. And now he's closer. See, that's the nice thing about the loop. You can keep looping it. Or you could have moved it too. You could have moved the locator to get him close to this pose. And then it would work as well. So what do we have here? We have a run. And then he snaps to that pose. Okay? So we don't want that. We want to try transitioning from this run to this jump. Okay, so there's two ways. You can bring this clip over to the run, or you can keep looping this one and see what that, keep looping this one over the flip, which is not that great. See, he kind of starts running in place. We don't want that. So sometimes you need to experiment with the transitions. Not everything works from the beginning. So I like this better, so I'm just gonna keep this. So he kind of runs, slows, flips, and then lands. Okay. So I think we're ready to bring in the second one. We can bring in the land, right? Fall to land. Falling to roll. Same thing, we assign it to Ninja. By the way, if it's like dark gray like this, you could just take the top, kind of the end of the time of the track, or the time editor track, and just expand it. So now you can see the whole thing. I'll save this scene. So what do we have here? He flips, and then he's really high, right? So he's really higher than what we need. So it's the same thing now. We need to move the clip. Actually, so we kind of have the flip, and then he starts falling. So we only need maybe from this height, kind of, see, kind of the same height. Okay, so what do? We trim, right? This is the trimming. So we kind of trim these frames. Oops. We move it closer. He's kind of still off, right? So what are we gonna do? We're gonna create another locator for this clip. Each locator is per clip. So this one is still back there, right? And we're gonna create a new one with this one. So now we can move him. Oh yes, by the way, if you're really not sure where in space the previous clip is, or the next clip, you can turn on ghosting mode. What is ghosting mode? It's the I believe the last pose. Yeah, it's the last pose of, whoops, oh, this one, we need this one as well. So ghosting mode is per clip, okay? So it's kind of the last, is it the last pose or the first pose? I think it's the first pose. Yeah, it's, actually it's both, okay. So it's the, see here, I'm on this clip, right? So if I keep scrubbing, so this is the first pose of the, no, it's the last pose of the previous clip. That's why this clip is disappearing now. So you have this pose and this pose, which is the last frame or pose of this clip. So we want to turn this on for this one as well. So now if I keep going, see, it's weird, I don't see the ghosting on the clip, but if I go back and move this clip, I see the reference moving. Okay, so you kind of have to work a little bit backwards with it, but what you can do, you can take this reference and just keep moving this clip until you kind of line it up with this, or almost close. Okay. No, we don't want this. Hold on. We don't want him to land. Okay, let's figure this out. Okay, so do we have this one on, ghosting? Okay, I'm gonna remove this and keep this. Okay, I got it. So technically, this is the last pose. Okay, we don't need this from this clip. We don't need this pose from the last. We just need to blend from here to the landing. Okay, so what do? Is we just grab this and move it over. Let's see if that gives us. Okay. Let's see on playback, does it disappear? No, it keeps going. So if you want to see playback without all these ghosts, you need to hide them. I'm not sure if there's a way to hide them on playback, but you need to hide them. Let's see how it looks. Yeah. So that's it. You can use the ghost mode to match what's on the previous clip. Okay. Let's go back to it. So it's transitioning with it. It's not that bad. So he has like a little arc going down. So it helps you in trying to reposition this clip. Okay. So let's see what this thing looks like. Did I have it? Okay, it's still there. Is this one still on? Yeah. Okay. So not bad. My keyframing needs a lot of work. I didn't spend too much time on the timing. The landing could be a little bit faster, so we can just scale it to make it a little bit. So scale it down, right? We want it faster. Okay, now he's a little bit more energetic. Cool. So what do we do with this? Now we save, and we have a run, flip, and the land. So now we want to bring it into Unreal. Okay. So if you need to edit something before you send it to Unreal, you need to bake this out to the control rig. Okay. How do you do this? Because right now, if I mute the time editor, by the way, you can mute it with this button. There's nothing playing. It's only the T-pose. So in Maya, there's nothing. So what you need to do is you need to take what you did in the time editor. It's basically the same thing as in Motion Builder Story. You need to bake this information for frames 0 to, let's say, 90. It's fine, we'll render it. The last frame will be... Okay, so you need to take this information and bake it to the control rig if you want to edit it. Okay, so how do we do this? We go control rig or character button, bake to skeleton, and then we unmute time editor. And now if you play, We have those keys because what we just did, we took all these keys and we baked it on the skeleton, on the root joint. So now we can't really do much with the skeleton, so we need to bake it on the control rig again. Make sure you're on full body, right? Otherwise it's not gonna bake all the keys, all the body parts, I should say. So now we can close the time editor and see here all the poses now are ready for editing on the control rig. So let's say you don't like the arms here, they're a little bit high or low. So now what you do is you select the arm that or the body part that you want to modify, and you go in channel box in the anim tab and you click on this little one, create layer from selected object. So a layer is always what you have selected. So if you want to modify both arms, you need to select both arms. So I'm just gonna modify maybe just the head for now. The arms are fine. I just want maybe the head have a little rotation. Okay. So anim tab, create a layer from selected object. Be as descriptive as possible. I highly recommend it, because if not, you will get lost with the layers. You don't know what's what. You know, if you're gonna do a lot of editing. Okay. So as you can see, all my keys disappeared. The keys are not disappearing. They're just on the base layer. Always work with layers when you wanna modify something and you wanna retain what's underneath. Okay. So let's say I want the head here to be a little bit lower. You know, he's running with his head too high. So I bring down the head, key it, and now it's much better. So it puts these offsets on all the time range, right? But let's say, so right now he looks like he's looking down too much. Okay. So I don't want that. So what do? Is I right click on my layer and I think there's a button, options. Oops. Layer. Yeah, you're supposed to zero. You can zero out the. It's right there. Yeah. Zero, weight, and key layer. Yeah. Okay, so let's say I don't like this rotation here. So if I select the layer and I go this one, zero key layer, what it will do, it will take the key on the base and put it on this frame. Okay, I will delete it and you will see the difference. See, right now he's looking down. If I use this button, see, it puts it the same, it gives it the same information as the bottom layer. But what happens now is his head here is pretty back to what it was before, because it's blending these values from here to here, from 0 to 100. So if you want the same key from here all the way to the run, you just need to copy and paste. See, now these two keys are identical, so the head is down all the way through, and it starts transitioning to this new zero key pose. Okay, I'm not gonna go too much in layers. It is a bit complex, but that's what you need to do if you need to edit. You need to bake to control rig, same thing, and then basically keyframe like we did in the last assignment. Okay, so let's say you're happy with this animation. You wanna start exporting it to Unreal. Same thing, we select the joints, select hierarchy, and now we go file, just like we exported the keyframe animation. Export selection. We'll call this, I believe we created a folder, anim exported, so I'm gonna call this week 2 run flip roll. Okay, again, make sure animation is on and bake is on. Okay, export. Takes a while because it's baking all the keys. This is fine. And let's go in the engine. So I'm gonna use the same project that you created last time, so you should end up with the same thing, characters anims. So I'm gonna bring in this exported animation, Maya assets, anims exported, and I believe it was this one, week 2 run flip roll. Okay, so if you haven't created an anim folder, create it please, and then just drag and drop this FBX. So like last time, it asks you what skeleton do you want to assign it to. So we have the ninja guy, so I just select it and go import. So now it created the U asset. I double click on it and voila, it assigns the animation to the skeleton. Okay, I have about 10 minutes left. I'm gonna show you how to quickly make a sequence. This way it kind of gives you the basics of the sequencer, or what we call it. The sequencer will be the place where we're gonna build everything, like take the characters, bring in the animations, everything. Okay, I'll save all, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop in the ninja in this empty scene. Okay, and I'm gonna go to camera, cinematic, and create a cinema actor. Okay, I'm just gonna drop this here. So now we have a camera in this scene and a character in this scene. Okay, so you can see a mini view of what the camera is looking at. The format, I believe, is good. I'm not mistaken. I think it's film. Yeah, 35 millimeters. Yeah, just change the, if you select the cam, see cinema actor is here, and go in the details, film back 16 by 9 film. Okay, so what's next? We want to add the camera, the character, and the animation to see it, and then render from the camera. Okay. If you go in sequence, if you don't see the little tab sequencer, it's okay. You can go to Window, Viewports. No, sorry, Window. Ah, I forgot. Cinematics, sequencer. Okay, if it shows up like this by itself, just hold down the tab and just drag it beside the content browser. Okay, so you're gonna end up something like this. So right now we have the sequencer, but it's empty. So we want to create what we call a node, which called the sequencer, to add all these all the cameras and the character and the animation. Okay, so we go in here, cinematics, it's the shortest button, cinematics, add level sequence. Okay, don't worry about the add master, let's just start with this one, add level sequence. Where do we want to save it? Let's save it. It's okay, let's save it in levels for now. Actually, no, you know what? New folder, sequencer, okay. So I'm gonna save my week 2 sequencer in here. Okay, add level sequence, sequencer, and we call it week 2 ninja. That's fine. So now, now the sequencer is active. We see a timeline just like Maya. Okay, but it's missing a bunch of tracks. It's basically the same technique. You need to add tracks and you need to add animations. Okay, so the first track we're gonna add is actor to sequencer. So if you go actor to sequencer, you're gonna see what's available in your world outliner here. See? So we add our ninja. I'll explain those once we get more involved in the sequencer. But basically in the ninja track, you have an animation track and a transform. Transform, you can actually animate this guy in T-pose all over the map. But we don't want to do that. We just want to add an animation. Okay? So we click animation, and the only animation available in our project is the run flip roll that we exported. Okay? So where does he go? He's right here. So now he should be running, flipping, and landing. Cool. So we want to add the camera. So again, track, camera, actor to sequencer, and we choose the cinematic camera, right? This is called Cin Camera Actor 1. There we go. So now we have a camera track and the ninja track. Okay, we don't have any animation on the camera, so what you could do is you could just take it and position it to a nice angle of the character. Okay, so you can move and rotate using these, right? So I'm just gonna create a still frame of the whole action. It's the same shortcuts too, right? WE. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, maybe we can bring it lower a little bit, just to see our ninja guy. I want to see his heroic pose at the end after his jump. Okay, so and why is it, are we keyframing? Oh yes, we might have keyframed. What did we keyframe? So if you see, if you pressed S by mistake like me, you're actually keyframing. And we just keyframed the camera, which is fine. I think we can keyframe the end too, actually in here. Right, it's 90 frames, right? So we can just take the end of the sequence, which is the red line, and just bring it up to here. So now if you bring the camera to show him, and then you press this little one. Now we just animated the camera, right? And I believe it's, if I move it and press S, yeah, it's just like Maya. I wasn't aware that they use even that shortcut. Okay, so and if you want to delete the key, if you don't like it, just select it. It will be like select, like it has an orange circle around it. Just press delete on your keyboard. Now make sure your mouse is in the viewport. Okay. That's it. We'll keep it simple. And then what do you do to render? When you created, you added the actor, it creates a camera cut. We'll worry about this later. But you can use this track. This is automatic. Once you add one camera in the scene, this comes automatic. Okay. So you can use this to render. I believe it's in here. Whoops, this one. Render this movie to a video. You click on it. What do you want to render? You want to render, probably the only option is an AVI. Okay, no problem. No audio, 30 FPS. Resolution is this. Let's choose 30 FPS. And compression, don't worry about it. Output, where is it going? Compare it with the sequencer, yeah. Week 2, because you're gonna upload this, Nasrallah Ninja. Oh, this is the folder. Oh, sorry. Okay. So if I select it and then where did I put the name? That's weird. Or does it auto-generate the name? Okay, let's find out. I haven't done this in a while, I apologize. Let's see what it gives. So after you've set the folder, file name, format. Oh, okay, this is it here. Week 2, my name. Capture. It will ask you to save the level, save selected, and it will, oh, it's a little bit, oh, it just renders part of it, yeah, that's fine. it doesn't give you the full, so don't worry too much about it. The little preview, don't worry too much about it. So I'm gonna go in content, it's probably in here. Okay, Unreal, week two content, sequencer, right? That's where we rendered it. And then we open it and we'll see the magic, hopefully. Yes. It gives you even motion blur. Look. It's cool, huh? All right, that's it. You can submit this AVI to Moodle, and you're done. You don't need to submit the Maya file if you've done all this properly. Okay, sounds good. I'll see you some of you in class. All right, ciao guys.